Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a brand new episode of the RGM Experience podcast with me, Carl Maloney, in my yellow booth in Manchester. We've got today, ladies and gentlemen, it's only bloody Jessie Robinson. Hi, mate.
You're right.
I'm trying. I've had a long day today. I'm trying to stay upbeat. Can you tell? Yeah, I know. Yeah. Oh, I just want to go to bed. I'm knackered. It's been one of them days. It's been one of them days. Yeah, mate. Thanks for joining us down on the podcast. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Thank you very much. How are you?
Yeah, sound tar, sound tar. I'm always, I love the journey of a band, and I've been seeing Scarlet all over the place. You've got this big tour coming up. You've got a single just out. So I just wanted to catch up with you, really, get to know you a little bit more and just shoot the shit, if that's all right with you, pal.
Yeah, sweet. Let's
Nice
shoot.
one. So introduce us to anybody's that's hidden under a rock and doesn't know who you are, mate. Introduce us to Jessie Robinson.
Well, I'm in a band. I'm a
Right.
vocalist, a guitarist,
Right.
and Scarlet. And yeah, it's like a sort of, I don't know who we sound like, a female Biffy Clyro, maybe with a bit of blondie pop hooks in there or something
Yeah.
like that. That's what I
Yeah.
think anyway.
No, I'd agree with you. I think you're in the right ballpark there, just knowing your tunes and that, yeah. Yeah, and so like before, we'll obviously we're going to talk about the band and all that kind of stuff with the all the things that you've got going on in a minute. But just to go back a little bit, just to get you to know you, what were you like as a young lass growing up? Talk us a little bit about what it's just so we can get to know you and a bit about your history and that kind of stuff. Talk us about little Jessie. What were you like?
Little Jessie. Well, my mum and dad are both artists.
Okay.
So I was always a very quirky, creative child. My mum used to let me pick my own outfits, and my dad always takes the mick out of me and says quite often I'd look like one of those. Is it a mime or a
Yeah. Okay.
because I always picked like black and white hoops and like super arty like berets and stuff
Yes.
like that. So I was always a little bit weird, a little bit of a big gob. Yeah, loved animals. Used to just follow cats everywhere. And yeah, I loved my music. My granddad is Irish, so I've got Irish blood, and I used to love all of the taverns in Dublin and stuff like that. My first experience of getting up and performing, I was probably about maybe 5 or 6 years old, and I got
Pop
up
a little show off.
yeah, I got up on stage with one of those, one of the bands that just jam songs, and I knew all of the traditional Irish songs. So I got up and I was singing, and they sat me on a big tall bar stool, and yeah, I got the bug. And ever since, I've wanted to be a performer. So yeah, doing dances to Spice Girls songs in the front room, and then that slowly led into being like an emo teenager, picking up a guitar for the first time when I was probably 11. I did have guitar lessons in school, but I only started to really like enjoy guitar when I was like 11 years old. Before that, it was all like God Squad songs in primary school, Kumbaya and all that.
There's loads to unpack just in that, little thing you just taught me this. I've got all your life. Right, that's the interview done. See you later, guys. So you've got, you got the music bug early. You're arty. You're into that
Yeah.
kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You said just using your word here. You said you were a bit weird. What do you
Yeah.
mean by being a bit weird?
I was super weird. Like
Yeah.
every single stage of my life, never ever fit in with like a group of people. I've always been like a lone ranger, and maybe I've one mate that like I go around with, probably someone who just allows me to pester them, feeling sorry for me or something. But yeah, I was always into different things. And always like I thought I was funny, but you're only funny if like other people laugh at your jokes, really. So I'm not quite sure. Yeah, I was always just a weirdo.
Yeah. I like weirdos though.
Yay.
The world needs weirdos, don't they? I was a bit of a weird. I was definitely one of those show off people at school and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and just like proper. I don't know. What did I used to do that were weird? Oh, because I were a bit of a big lad and that. Do you used to have pylons at school? Where
No.
everybody just piles on top of you?
No.
Yeah,
What?
but they got about 10, 15 people used to pile up on you at school. Not the most funniest of things to do, but it was a bit weird.
I'd die if that happened to me.
Yeah.
I'm like this big.
Yeah, I wasn't allowed to jump on because I was one of the bigger boys. So I
Oh,
always ended up at the bottom. Just Yeah, I don't want it to come across all sad or anything. What's going on? I'm getting a
Oh,
message.
it's
Did
not
you do
me.
so you didn't do it. So yeah, I'm just trying to think. Am I proper weird then? Or is that just I don't know what that is. I maybe need to think that through.
I used to get tricked. Like I had a group of boys come and call for me once because I was into sports as well.
Yeah.
Luckily for me, because that was the only kind of like socializing I did with anybody my age,
Yeah.
sports clubs. And they knocked on at my mum's and they were like, "Do you want to come out and play football?" And my mum was like, "What, Jess?" And my dad was like, "Yeah, Jess." And I was like, "Oh, me." And I went out and I was like, "Yeah, let's go and play football." And I like got to the bottom of my path and they just ran up behind me and like decked me and then ran off. And they thought it
Oh,
was funny.
oh
So I
no.
was like, "Oh, sound."
Oh no. I suppose we can laugh about those moments now, can't
That's
we?
now, yeah. At the time, mortified.
Fair enough. So you mentioned there that yeah, you only socialized really with sporty things.
Yeah,
Why is
yeah.
that? You seem really outgoing and things like you feel like you're soul of the party, that kind of stuff. Is that has that changed in your personality as you've got older?
I mean, I don't think that I am now. Like, I think
Oh
I
yeah.
have moments, but I'm like a sort of extrovert introvert, really. Like, I enjoy getting up on stage and singing, and it's almost like I'm a different person when I'm up there doing it. And
Yeah.
then as soon as I come off, everyone's dead nice to me, which is lovely. So I really thrive in that environment where people are nice to you. But then you go home and it's quiet and not much is happening. You go to work, you live your normal life and wait for the next time.
Yeah. Is it hard to come down from that experience for you?
I find it like I think a lot of performers like describe it as being a bit of a roller coaster. So you're like really up here when you're on stage, and then the day after it's literally massive low, and then you have to kind of do the next thing that's going to psych you up again. So it's like up and down and up and down. So yeah, this is an up for me today, which is why I'm all smiley because I get to talk
Oh, okay.
to you and I love you.
Oh, bless you. Well, we love supporting the band and doing what we do at RGM. Since my band split up over 10 years ago, I needed something else to do to show off a little bit, and it's kind of ended up being RGM is like my thing to keep me sane on top of the the day job and that kind of stuff and all the mundane tasks that come our way during the week. Oh, mundane things. What if I've got a question on here and I don't and this is kind of I think it's only going to be the only segue into it, and I don't even know why I've written this question. I've never asked it anybody before, but I just thought it'd be funny.
It's an exclusive question.
Yeah, if you could get rid of one mundane task out of your normal week, what would it be?
Oh,
Like it's got to be proper mundane though.
there's two things:
Okay, I'll let you can have two.
hoovering
Yeah,
and washing dishes. Washing cutlery, specifically cutlery.
cutlery. Yeah,
Oh my God, how long do you stand there for? I went through a phase of like getting paper plates and like bamboo knives and forks and stuff like that. So I could just put it all in the bin because I was
yeah,
doing it so much. Like every day, because obviously you eat every day, don't you?
yeah.
Never stockpile of plates.
I'm going
I
to buy
get
you a dishwasher.
see, I'm not like I'm not snazzy enough for a dishwasher yet. I've not
One
made
day, mate.
snazzy.
One day when you get a dishwasher, it'll change your life. I
I
know
am
you're
a
with that cutlery.
dishwasher.
Cutlery is a right pain in the arse, isn't it?
Yeah.
Especially if it's been left and all, and it's got cake. It's got like stuff on it. If it's been left for a bit.
In between the prongs on the
Yeah.
forks. What's that about?
No good. No
Why has
good.
nobody made a fork like that just
Without gaps in it.
has a spoon in it?
Yeah, you'd end up with a spoon, mate.
Yeah.
That's funny. I like this question. This is going well. It's going well. And what was the other one you said?
Hoovering.
Hoovering's
Yeah.
not too bad.
Most Hoovers are bigger. Most Hoovers are bigger than me. So
Okay, fair enough.
body workout trying
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, that makes sense, I suppose. Like
to dragging you up the stairs.
if you're having to move a machine that's the same size of you, I can imagine that not being much fun. Imagine being a big well, what I hate doing, and I get done for not doing it all the time, is putting another bag in the bin after you've took the bin out.
Oh, yeah. And you
Shit
always
job
get
that.
bin juice at the bottom as
Yeah,
well.
just shit job that. I can't be bothered with that job. Hate that job. That's the one I'd get rid of.
getting the wheelie bins in them. Wow.
How did I get onto this question? Mundane things, weren't it? Oh yeah, mundane tasks that you have in the week, and then you've got this big high of being on stage, and then the mundane things happen during the week, and you just earn a few quid and pay your bills that way, don't you?
Yeah.
How do you keep saying through it all? Because it's not all you don't. Okay, fair enough. Because the music industry is one of the hardest industries in the world as well. So there's so much rejection. There's so much, you can do what you do and work so hard on it, and having a tour booked and going on tour is just a massive financial commitment as well. There's loads of risks and involved with being in a band. It's fun, but a lot of people don't see all the shit you have to do behind the scenes as well, just to keep your name out there on socials and all that kind of stuff. So how do you find time to do all that?
I think I'm just obsessed.
Okay.
I got the idea in my head when I was younger that I was gonna like make something of myself and make a name of myself and have like, PJ Harvey.
Yeah.
PJ Harvey's been like my sort of goal since I can remember. I've just wanted like a massive cult following. I don't care about being like famous or anything like that.
Yeah.
I would just like to make money out of making music, writing music, singing. Guitar, it's weird how guitar came into the mix actually. Like I never wanted to play the guitar. The old sort of lineup of Scarlet, we had an extra guitarist and he left. So people were like, right, well, you're doing it now because I used to be a guitarist in an old indie band.
Yeah.
You can believe it. And it just sort of came about. But yeah, I think the key to it all is being completely obsessed and dedicated and like a dog with lockjaw. Like you get hold of it and you're like, I'm not letting go of this until I've took it to a level that I'm satisfied with. And see bands like calling it a day all the time. And I get it because it's such hard work, it's such a graft, but it makes me feel sad every time I see a band call it a day, because it's like all the work that they put in for all them years, it's sort of amounted to just silence, and then they've gone, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to be like that. Like I don't want that to happen. I want to keep it going until I'm like 90 years old if I have to, I want to be like Debbie Harry in Blondie. She's still touring and she's like 100 and whatever.
What's the best way of like keeping the team together and everybody happy with it all?
Well, I've had that many different reincarnations of Scarlet. I wouldn't know. Yeah. I just try and be nice to everybody and keep things fresh and fun. And but yeah, people sort of come and go, and it's just a natural sort of flow. It's an ebb and flow, isn't it? Like you just got to roll with it, as this would say.
So when people like leave the band, that's a big part of being in a band. When I were in a band, we had about 8 drummers. It was just ridiculous. Yeah. And finding a drummer is hard work.
Yeah.
Because they're all a bit mental and they're all a bit like, they're all a bit broken, like most of them in the world. Bless them, aren't they? But
drummers, they like to hit things for a living.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But yeah, just finding a new member is such a stressful. Why do you think people do call it a day? Is it just their heart's not in it, really?
I think people expect it to be easier than it is. And I think when it's presented to them and they see that you do actually have to pull your finger out and graft, it's like, hang on a minute, I want the fun stuff, but I can't be arsed with, what can I say, arsed?
Yeah, you say what you want, mate. Yeah.
I can't be arsed with like the actual, the graft to get there. I think I described it once to Adam, my guitarist, as like having a gorgeous, freshly made apple pie in front of you, and it's all cut up and everyone wants a slice of that pie. And if there was a sour slice in there, and it was like someone's got to eat it, everybody would just take the sweet pieces and they'd leave that sour piece for somebody else to do. And the sour piece is like the hard work in the band. And it kind of feels the same way. Like somebody's got to be willing to sort of take on that crap. And when you try and get everybody involved in it, people just sort of run away. Run away screaming, I don't want to do it.
Yeah, they just want, some people just want to play a few gigs and not have the stress of it.
Yeah, and they want
the job. They do the stage time. Some people are just happy with that, aren't they?
Yeah, and I don't blame them. Like, I'd
Yeah,
be happy with that. That'd be lovely if the band was just that.
yeah.
Imagine.
Oh no, well, it's the holy grail, isn't it, to earn money from music, and there's no money in streaming, so the only way you can really make money is sell tickets and do tours and things like that, which is, particularly for new bands, is a nightmare to get out of town sometimes,
Yeah.
and particularly, if you're going into new cities and you're not going to sell any tickets, you're not going to make any money, you're only going to lose money, so you'll be worse off financially anyway. But you've got
Yeah.
to start somewhere to get out on the road, aren't you? You've got to take the risk and do it to see what's out there.
Yeah, and then you've got to keep doing it and keep putting yourself
Mm.
into that position where you're
Yeah,
losing money and you're tired and
yeah,
you're all sort of bickering in the tour van
yeah,
and you're having a not very good time for it to start making money. And then you can, like, sleep in a travel lodge.
yeah.
Imagine. Like, that's luxury. And afford to eat at the same time. Oh my God. You can get
Yeah.
pizzas. And then it gets better, and that's where the fun starts,
Yeah.
which is, I think, where I'm at, where we're at with Scarlet at the moment.
You in
Like,
travel lodges?
I'm looking into it for this
Okay.
tour.
Oh, nice. Okay. Big time.
Might be a mix of people that we know's flaws and a
Okay.
travel lodge, like, sort of sprinkled in here and
Fair
there.
dues. Fair dues.
We're just about breaking even on what we do at the minute. The last
Yeah.
tour, what we did with Hands Off Gretel, we sort of broke even. We could pay for our petrol. And I think we had a little bit left over
Mm.
at the end of it to sort of, I don't know, pay for, I can't remember what we got in the end. I think we what did we get? I think we got a bag of plectrums, Love Heart Pink Scarlet plectrums, which
Okay.
was 35 quid
Yeah.
from from some merch place. We
Yeah.
were like, yeah, let's spend our profit on that.
What, just to use or to flog on as well?
Just give out at gigs.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. But you mentioned Hands Off Gretel there. Love those guys. We've had them on the podcast and things over the years. They've got that passion, haven't they?
Yeah. Yeah. Lauren is like the most dedicated person to her music and
Yeah.
her causes that I've ever met. And like, she when, like, at the beginning of the interview when we were talking about me always being a weirdo, she is the only person in the music industry that I've ever interacted with that has ever made me feel like accepted and welcomed into their environment. A lot of the time things can be a bit awkward depending who you play with.
Yeah.
It can be a bit like, oh, you don't know each other, you're complete strangers, you do the same thing, but why would you be connected just because of that? Do you know what I mean? It can be a bit sometimes.
Yeah.
But literally, first time that I ever, Lauren invited me out on a night out before I went and gigged with them. Like, we went to Sheffield to I can't remember where we went. Yellow Door, what's it called? Yellow something.
Yellow Arch.
Yeah, Yellow Arch. We went there
Yeah.
and we went on a night out.
Yeah.
And I turned up and I was by myself, lone wolf, and I walked in and she was there with loads of mates and all of them were amazing. And I'm friends with like a lot of the people that I'm friends with that night. We stayed friends. She's just got this ability to just make people feel comfortable and give like rejects a home almost. Like, for me, in my perspective anyway, a social reject like me. Like a home, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, that's nice. I can remember seeing Lauren, the first time I saw Lauren perform, I think she was like 17 and it was at the Forum.
Yeah.
It was just like an unplugged gig on a Sunday afternoon at the Forum that I was part of.
Yeah.
And she sung Whole Lot of Love. It's on YouTube. Have you seen that version of her singing that?
Oh no.
Ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. It's just amazing. And just to see her that young and develop into this artist that she is now. Yeah. She always had the talent. It was always there, and it's just great to see her go make her own way in this industry. And just looking at her social, she feels the pressure. You can tell.
Yeah.
And she's so passionate about it and gets frustrated with how hard work it is sometimes, and the opportunities some bands get over other bands and that kind of stuff. It's all there, isn't it?
You look at Hands Off Gretel and you look at what she's created completely by herself, and like the social numbers alone, not taking into consideration anything else that she does, just like how many people are following her on Facebook, Hands Off Gretel on Facebook, for example. And you see like bands who've got like 3,000 follows and they're like playing at download, and you think, how are you doing that? And what's going on? Like, so I'm hoping that in the next couple of years, Lauren's going to really come through. Like she already is. She's got loads of festivals, hasn't she, with Delilah Bon and stuff
Well,
like
that's
that.
another thing. She's got a successful band, and then she's got a successful solo career at the same time. She's a machine, that woman.
She is a machine. I've got nothing but like amazing things to say about her. Honestly, she's fantastic.
Well, there's another fantastic female in the industry as well, and I know you kind of get on. You guess who I'm going to say?
Are you going to say Imogen?
I am going to say Imogen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Imogen from Nova Story. We had her and Ducky on the podcast.
Yeah.
As well, and I just really enjoyed. She's just got funny bones. She's
Yeah.
and she's in it for the long haul. She's not messing about, that one, is she?
Yeah, no, yeah. Believe it or not, I've only actually ever met her once.
Yeah.
And it was when we both supported Hands Off Gretel in London.
No.
And we were like, this is weird because we like are mates on social media. And now we're like seeing each other in real life. And she's so much smaller than I thought she'd be. She's smaller than me in real life. Yeah. She's tiny powerhouse. Like the voice that comes out of her, you're like, whoa, where's that voice come from? Like, she's amazing. And yeah, she's a grafter as well.
She is a grafter. She is. She's building that recording studio and stuff and all, just to start her own business. And she started a business around around what she loves, music. Yeah. That's clear. It's good, clever work. Good, solid, clever work, that, isn't it?
You've got to be like a jack of all trades almost in this industry. You have to have your fingers in all the pies and sort of have multiple skills that you can like flex to make money and collect money here, there and everywhere. And I think Imogen and Lauren are like just prime examples of doing that with the different projects and different skill sets and areas that they go into. And yeah, I try and be like that. I don't think I'm as successful as like Lauren is at the minute, but she inspires me a lot. One day I'll get there.
There you go. But it's just great to just have conversations, to see all the female artists that are out there in the world just getting their chance.
Yeah.
Because historically, you've not always had it easy compared to these indie blokes getting in the way sometimes, and getting festival slots above. Well, just when you look at the ratio of males and females at festivals, it's still not where it needs to be. But there's green roots there, and it's getting better.
It's happening, but it hasn't half took like a lot of screaming and shouting. Like you think it should be easy, shouldn't it? Yeah. But even like promoting this single, I've had like you get sexist comments all the time, like people asking like if your boyfriend's going to take you to such a festival, is your boyfriend going to drive you? And it's like, doesn't matter if I've got a boyfriend or not. We're talking about music. And you wouldn't say, boy, is your girlfriend going to drive you to that festival? Okay. Like little creepy, weird things and stuff like that. It still happens all the time. Like I walk in and I'd say maybe it was 9 times out of 10. Now it's like 7 times out of 10. The people at a gig venue would assume that I'm one of the boys' girlfriends.
Oh, okay.
It's so awkward every time. Or like you get stopped and they go, oh, sorry, it's only the band that can come in. And you're like, I am in the band. I am the singer in the band.
That's mental, isn't it?
Yeah, it's mad. And it has happened like more often than you'd think. It's crazy. So
like, it's like today, like, so if you had a gig tonight and went down, there's a 7 out of 10 chance that or which way around did you mean? Or a 3 out of 10 chance that they'll ask you or presume you're just a partner with
7 out of 10 chance.
So it's 7. So the worst.
Yeah, I've spoken to promoters who have booked us before that haven't realised that I'm in the band, and I'm like, you've booked us. What's going on?
Yeah. And have you got somebody booking your gigs for you now then as well?
Yeah, we do now.
That's nice. That must be a nice.
Yeah.
To give somebody else.
Yeah, he's worked with us for a while, for a few years. It came about, I put a post up and I was like, I'm sick of ringing round promoters and trying to book gigs as well as everything else. So if there's any booking agents out there that want to help us, here's a song, this is my band, get in touch. And he got in touch. He messaged me, he was like, this is going to sound really weird, but I'm a booking agent and actually I really like your stuff. And he had like his own company at the time. And we worked with him and he got us some gigs. And like, I love him. He's called Andy. And then he like progressed and got sort of like, what's it called when like the big shots of like companies kind of headhunt you?
Yeah. Okay.
Somebody was seeing all the good stuff he was doing with all of his band. and they recruited him, and he's part of Midnight Mango now, which is like a booking agency that they're really good. They're doing really well, and they've got like Hands Off Gretel was doing some stuff with them for a bit, and I think, I mean, don't quote me on this, but I think False Advertising were with Andy for a little while. Might have got that wrong, but yeah, he's sort of like worked with all of the cool bands with like awesome kick-ass females in, and he's great. He's great.
How did they work out which venues to book you in? Like just like venue size to start off with. How did they? Is there some kind of algorithm or something that works it all out? Like from a a relatively established band like Scarlet, how would you know where to book you in down south? You know, what I mean, venue size wise, how would you work that out? I don't know.
I'm not sure. I think communication with us, really. Like he's always asking. He's always saying, "How many people would you estimate came?" And sometimes it's like there was 5. And sometimes it's like there was 150, and it like fluctuates. And I think he just goes off of that. Like a place where we do really well every time is Manchester. And I would never ever think, being from St Helens, I would always think that we'd do better in Liverpool. Like Laura and Kai are based in Liverpool, but Adam's Manchester, and Manchester just seem to love us. And it's like, yeah, you're our hometown. Like it's amazing. We do really good. And Newcastle as well is another one. Every time we've been there, everyone's just so nice and so lovely and just gets what we're trying to do. They just kind of understand what we're trying to create. And it becomes like this real sort of like chosen family environment, like these friends become really close with you and come to every show that you do and will travel around, and it's great. So I think my sort of setup, it's all very family orientated. Like I would class Andy, our agent, he's like a family member now, and we work with Frank, who from
Frank Wilkes.
Frank Wilkes, and I'd say he's like a family member. And then you just talk to each other and find out where we're at, how many people we're playing to, and you just guess, you just chance it.
Yeah, nice work, mate. Nice work. Yeah, I noticed I was looking on your tour poster today. I thought, Night and Day, nice one in Manchester. Yeah. But it's the same day I'm in Sheffield because Tramline Festival just starts. But then I look down, you're doing Tramline's Fringe, so I'll see you in Sheffield, mate.
Yeah, when you messaged, didn't you? You've got a stage on the Saturday.
Yeah, Friday, I do Thursday and Friday at Foreign Parrot in Sheffield.
Oh, I so wanted to come down and do it, but I can't remember whereabouts we are. But we're elsewhere in the country doing gigs on them nights.
Yeah,
but
we'll get you one day, mate. We'll book you for next year. So yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great. So the tour. Wow, that looks like a good one. July coming up, tickets are on sale. Everybody, I'll put a link to under the descriptions under here somewhere. Just click on it and grab yourself a ticket in a town near you.
Never heard of before. Just come and
why not? How are you preparing for that? 'Cause how many dates is it? Like 15?
It looks bigger than it is because half of it's in July and half of it's in October.
Okay.
So the October run is like a support show, and it's through Planet Rock. They're doing like their is it Rocktober that they've called it? Right. I always forget these names. I should make a note of it. But we're supporting a band called The Damn Truth, who are from America, and they're like a proper rock and roll like American band. So we're supporting them on that run of it. The July one, we're going to, where are we going now? We've got London, Manchester. And I instantly regret reeling off where we're going because I've forgotten. Guildford.
I haven't got a copy of the poster either, but I'll put a copy of the poster on. There'll be a poster on our for you to be able to find it. Yeah.
I think there's like eight gigs next to each other. Birmingham we're going to as well. We're playing the Sunflower Lounge in Birmingham, which is a place that it's one of my bucket list venues.
I've never been to Birmingham.
Have you not?
I need to go to Birmingham. I don't know why I've never been. I've just nothing's cropped up. Oh, I've been to the train station once, NEC, but not really like city centre, Birmingham.
Oh, it's ace.
And I keep hearing about is it Sunflower Lounge?
Yeah. It's
I need to go there.
It's notorious for being like a venue that sort of hosts up and coming bands. So the fact that we're playing there is a massive deal for me. And I've been really trying to sort of like promote that one to make sure that we fill some seats.
Nice. And how do you prepare? Like it was about a month away. The tour. How do you start preparing for it now? What kind of things are you doing now just to prepare for this thing?
The mundane stuff like travel, accommodation. Have we got friends in these locations that will offer us their floor for a night and don't mind having like four rowdy I was gonna say youngsters, but we're not even young anymore. Rowdy middle-aged
Yeah.
people sleeping on the floor. Yeah, and like how much money we're going to need. So sort of trying to estimate how much it's going to cost
Yeah.
and how we're going to recoup. So we get paid like little fees for playing in these
Mm.
places. And then we top it up with merch. So it's making sure we've got enough merch to sell.
Mm.
I'll need to do a reorder of some CDs. I'll need to get some fair CDs ordered because I don't even have any. So yeah, stuff like that. It's boring, really.
Yeah, but it's kind of like you know it's going to be great. You've got to be prepared, aren't you? So you've got to. Life's not about you don't get anywhere just like having it easy.
Yeah, the best bit for me, I think, is like when you all meet up in the like meet location, just
Mm.
as you're about to all set off on the tour, and you all meet up, and you've got all of like your suitcases are piling out of the boot,
Yeah.
and you can't fit everything in, all your guitars, you're like choosing which guitar you're going to leave behind, like, or what pair of shoes you're going to keep at home.
You
It's
overpack or do you underpack?
overpack.
Okay.
Literally ask the guys. Last time we went on tour, we did it in this RV, like an old sort of 80s RV, which ended up breaking down on us millions of times. My suitcase took up half of the space in the RV. Like it was massive. We had to store it in the toilet.
Nice.
Like people were having like wheeze around my luggage, like because it was the only place that it would fit in the shower. It's mad. My excuse is I'm a lead singer, so
Yes. Well, I can remember one of the biggest experiences I saw Scarlet online was when you did that big festival in Croatia. That must have been a good.
oh, in
That must have
Korea.
been a good. Or Korea, weren't it? With that
Yeah,
with Sound City or Kicker or.
yeah. Kicked
Oh
off
yeah.
stage at Sound City, and they asked us to go and do it. That was mad. It took 21 hours to get there.
Yeah.
I think in
How much did you pack for that?
do you know I overpacked and I was stood in the airport and our chaperone that we had, he's called Barry.
Yeah.
I don't you know Barry actually, Barry Whitaker Gilby.
I'm not. I don't think so.
That's how you say his second name. He's from your neck of the woods, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah, he turned
Yeah.
up. We'd never met him before. We just knew we were meeting someone called Barry. He turned up and he looked like someone in Korea told him he looked like Zidane.
Oh, okay.
Zidane? Is that how you say it?
Footballer.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like, oh yeah, okay, this is Barry. And I'm like, he's gone through with his luggage, he put it all through, so he's got like a bum bag and stuff, and I'm sticking like mascaras in to try and like make my luggage lighter, like taking bits out and giving them to him and stuff, putting things in people's socks. I'm like, but I got everything there. I didn't have to leave anything, so that was all right.
What was it like just landing in Korea and thinking, right, this is not a normal day. Let's crack on with this. What was it like out there?
I was so in manager mode. It was unbelievable. Like it was just trying to keep everybody together and make sure no one got lost or left behind. So we had like these transport links and stuff and getting to the hotel. I was just so focused. I was knackered by the end of it. I didn't even register. It was the only time that it registered that we were in a different country was when we were trying to look for the festival site and we realized that nothing was in like English wording. It was all Korean, the
Yeah.
symbols.
Mm.
You couldn't even take a wild guess at what it meant because it was all shapes and pictures. And I was like, oh my God, we are in Korea. Like, how are we going to do this? Trying to order food as a vegan in Korea.
Oh wow.
I'm stood there going, no, oink, oink, oink. And the guys are going, laughing at me. And I'm like, no, move. And they're just laughing at me. So yeah, it was an experience. But I think we were only there for like 2 days in total. It took 21 hours to get there.
Yeah.
Then we were there for 2 days and then 21 hours to get back. It was mad.
How did my wife's a vegetarian, and even in Spain to try and like if you ask for something vegetarian, it's all got fucking ham in it somehow.
Yeah.
Were it hard work like that in Korea?
Yeah.
Just all something vegetarian and it's still got meat in it.
Well, I ended up getting a bowl of bean sprouts in some sort of broth. And I wasn't convinced that the broth wasn't like fish broth or something, but like everyone was like, well, it's either the bean sprouts or naffal. So what are you gonna do?
You dealt with it.
Yeah, I remember I went to Holland once I was like touring with a cover act called the Cavern Beatles, and we drove from the UK right across to Latvia and stopped off everywhere in between. And we got to Hungary, and I asked for a vegetarian pizza and they brought out ham and pineapple.
It's just, I love how daft the world is sometimes. Yeah, I know, yeah. This is okay, yeah. Ham on it. It's wafer thin ham. It's
Yeah.
it's not like thick stuff. Oh, brilliant, brilliant. Well, you mentioned there that you need to pre-order some new singles for Fear,
Yeah.
and that single's out now. So again, there'll be a link in the description for this for you to download and invest and have a listen to the tune. So just talk us through the single Fear. What's it all about?
Wow, it's about, oh, it gets a bit weird now. It's a bit dark. It's
Okay.
about my experience with depression.
Okay.
I recently got diagnosed with depression over Christmas, and I didn't realize I had it like last year. But with the pandemic happening, and obviously like a bunch of horrible stuff's happened for I think everybody.
Yeah.
I didn't realize I was suffering with this. I thought I was just really, really fed up. So I was trying to like find do a Pollyanna. Have you ever watched Pollyanna?
No.
And you have to list like however many things that you're glad about. I was like, what am I glad about? And the only thing that I could think of this entire time that I've been sort of experiencing depression is gigs, like the fans that come and watch us, who I see as friends. I don't see them as fans anymore. I see them as friends, and playing and understanding that no matter how bad it gets, no matter how dark it gets, there's that light for me at the end of the tunnel, because I'm going to always be able to stand up on a stage and sing to someone, and those people are my lights. So Fear was sort of about feeling scared in a sort of time of uncertainty, but feeling the fear and just going for it anyway and trying desperately to sort of be hopeful. And yeah, the single cover is like jellyfish, and the reason that we chose jellyfish is because last time I talked about this, I talked about jellyfish for 5 minutes, so stop. It gets boring.
No, it's fine.
They can like regenerate their cells.
Okay, so they regenerate. So I'm joking. Go on.
Yeah, they can regenerate their cells. So it's like I can't remember if this is accurate, but I've read it somewhere. They're never more than like a year old. Their cells are never more than a year old.
Okay.
They just regenerate. And the only thing that can kill them off is like a few rare diseases that are like really rare for a jellyfish to get, or like a massive predator that eats them. So as long as they keep themselves to themselves and they're just like sound floating around like a jellyfish, they can last forever. And that is like how I sort of see myself. Like, I can take the knocks, I can take the diseases, and like, all of the bad things that happen. I'll just keep regenerating and keep coming back for more. You have to keep going. So that's what the song's about.
Would you change anything about it? Like, because I know from being in bands, when you record stuff, after a bit of time passes, do you ever look back and think, oh, do you drive yourself mad wanting to update things all the time? Or you're just happy that happened at that time? It is what it is.
So there's a story with this.
Go on.
So we started recording it February last year. We finished recording it February this year. So it took a full year to actually record it. We started and we thought that we were done with it, and then there was like a kerfuffle and we had to end up swapping producers, so sending files over from one producer to the next producer. Our producer now, he's called Chris Southwood, and he's my mate from school, and he's got a little room sort of thing, and he just works on that, and he's amazing. He took everything on and gave it a real fresh spin. So all of there's a lot of like production elements in this version of Fear, which weren't in it when we initially started it. And I changed a lot of the words while I was on tour with Hands Off Gretel, because Lauren was inspiring me, and I could see that like Sam, Becky, Sean, and Lauren's manager Helen, who's her mum as well, they were all really taking me under their wing. They were very aware of what I was going through and that I was having a hard time, and it became about sort of creating like is it a kinship? Is that what I'm sort of trying to get at? Like a real close family love and supporting people as well. So the words changed quite a bit from that version to this version. So we did change bits, we did adapt, and we did add things. And then the final version, I'm personally 100% made up with. Like, I love it. I listen to it and I'm like, this is the best thing that we've ever done. And I know that every band kind of says that when they have a new release, but you just have to listen back over the old Scarlet stuff and you can see everything's blossomed. Like, the playing has got better, the writing's got better, my lyrics I feel have got hookier and like more interesting. I like what people do, how they sort of interpret your lyrics differently as well. Our last release, Wrong Way, was about one of my old friends. Someone from Australia got in touch with me and was like, I just want to tell you, I know what Wrong Way is about, and I'm really proud of you for talking about it. And I was like, what do you think it's about? And they said, it's about your experience with being bisexual. And I was like, that's not what it's about, but I love that that's what you think it's about. I love that that is what you've taken from it. And obviously, you know, this person might be going through their own sort of thoughts and feelings with that side of things. This song has obviously made them feel a certain way. I love how lyrics do that. But anyway, I'm going off on it.
It's powerful, isn't it? I like hearing about. When music grabs you, it never leaves you. I think I say that pretty much every episode, but it's true, isn't it? And it can affect you in different ways and affect different people in different ways. And it's just fascinating to hear stories about how
they develop all the time. So like, people are gonna like interpret them differently. Like, I agree with you. I'm getting excited. You can tell. Right?
Can I be cheeky and ask why you changed producers?
It just people are just arseholes.
Oh, that's a good answer.
You get it in every area. I don't even feel funny about saying it now. People have got different agendas, and people's thoughts about things, working with people, change. And your working relationships change all the time. And when it's time to move on, it's time to move on.
I'm glad I asked that. I was thinking about not asking that one, but I thought, I'm going for it. I'm going for it.
Oh no, I'm fine with saying it. I mean, I think the amount of people that think that I do a good job of things and that I'm a nice person, I've probably got one more person that thinks that I'm a total arsehole. So it happens. Like,
no way. I want names. I'm not having that.
No, honestly, yeah. If you walk around Liverpool and mention my name, 3 people will be like, oh, she's lovely. And 4 people will be like, what a dick.
Well, we can't win them all. And we don't want to win them all, do we?
No.
We don't. So you mentioned your experience with depression there. How do you work through things like that when you're like on tour and you've got stuff to do? How do you work through it? And how do you fight back against it?
I didn't know when I was on tour with Hands Off Gretel. I had my suspicions, but I didn't know that it was actually depression, and it ended up being post-traumatic stress disorder as well, just from things that happened in the pandemic. You know, like a lot of people died, and you know, people got diagnosed with illnesses and stuff like that. When I was on tour, I was really open about how I was feeling. And I was lucky to have the people around me that were there, like Helen, Lauren's mum, was really sort of checking in on me all the time and willing to talk to me about how I was feeling. And then, you talk about it. I think for me, understanding, I had no idea what the symptoms of depression were. I had no idea what it was like. I didn't know that you stop eating and things like that, and that your hair can fall out, and I was experiencing them things just with no idea that it was depression. I think having a support network around you, people that love you and people you can talk to, that for me is the only way that I've kind of navigated it. And acknowledging that I need to help myself, so doing things like learning to love myself a bit more. Like, if I do something nice for someone now, but it was at a point where I was doing something nice for everyone, like all the time, constantly giving, and my energy and my happiness was just draining, and no one was topping me up. I didn't have that top up, so I was just empty. I've worked out every nice thing you do for somebody else, do something nice for yourself. whether it be getting yourself your favorite Starbucks or ordering some ridiculously expensive face cream from Neil's Yard, like whatever you like doing, or getting a kitten, which I did.
Yeah. And you're good at training cats as well, I've noticed.
Yeah, high fives. I get them all high fiving. Like, I really get a lot out of that. You got to find what you enjoy and do more of it. And acknowledge that it's not about you giving every part of you to other people.
Yeah.
It's about retaining quite a bit of yourself for yourself, saying no to things, like managing your time better. Because I think we were all, before the pandemic, we were all yes people. And I think this is like a common theme that sort of I've got from talking to people at shows. They've started to say no to things and not burn out, not go the extra mile. It's important to sort of reserve that energy, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the long answer to that question.
No, it's great, and I just wanted to touch on it because the more you talk about it, it might help somebody that's listening that might be not feeling quite right and not know what to do next, really, and not be themselves.
Yeah,
it's okay.
It's like an underlying feeling. For me, it was an underlying feeling of just nothing. So kind of just sitting there and staring into space for prolonged periods of time, and then looking at your watch and 2 hours have gone past and you've not done anything. You're like, what have I been doing? And then not really wanting to like go anywhere or talk to anybody or do anything, and feeling a bit just like lethargic, jaded, melancholy, kind of like, not really feeling stress as well. Stress has been a big thing for me. The stress of everything, just constantly feeling that stressed feeling and not feeling happy or anything nice. That's how I would describe my experience with it. But acknowledge it and talk about it, and approach people that are happy to talk about it as well. I think the worst thing you can do is be quiet about it. Like, if I hadn't have said anything, if I hadn't have posted about struggling to eat food and losing weight fast, I wouldn't have understood that they're symptoms of depression, and I wouldn't have known how to fix it. And a lot of people actually commented saying, Huel, have you ever had Huel, the sort of like multivitamin, like protein things? Just carry one of them around with you, stick it in your pocket or in your bag, or have one in the living room and one by your bed and one at your desk. And then if you're not eating, you have a swig of that, and it encourages you to eat more. Stuff like that is amazing. And I'd never found that out if I hadn't have spoken up. So yeah, I'm pro talk about how you feel. I think it's really, really good. And if people think that you're a bit of a knob for saying how you feel, then that's their problem, not yours.
Yeah, too right. Well, I've really enjoyed the journey of the band so far. There's obviously a lot more to come.
Yeah.
Last question. How do you train cats then? What's the secret?
Oh God, you're gonna have me talking about this.
I've got two black cats, right?
Me too.
And Fernando's a right bastard. We went to Belfast for a few days the other week, and it sneaked upstairs and locked himself in the bedroom without us knowing. So when we got back, he was still up there, shit all up bed and everything.
Oh, Fernando!
But he just likes going upstairs, and because we don't let him upstairs, so it's like he's been naughty by sneaking up there, and he's getting right crafty. So I need to train him to not be crafty.
I haven't worked out. I've not any for like trying to train them to not be crafty, because I think
it's okay.
I'll tell you how to train one to high five.
Go on then.
Favorite treat or a piece of chicken or something, and a post-it note. Put the treat on the floor, put the post-it note over it, and just wait. And eventually the cat will tap the post-it note to try and move it out of the way. Yeah. When it does that, take it out of the way and let it have the treat. And then slowly, keep doing it, and then put the treat on your hand, low down,
start touching that
over it, keep doing it, and then eventually rotate your hand slowly. Both my cats learned how to do it in like 2 days. It's magic.
There we go.
You can take a post-it note away eventually.
Well, you're the gift that keeps giving. Really appreciate your time today. Is there anything else you want to share with Scarlet, the family Scarlet? Anything you want to share just to finish up today?
I've got an exclusive for you.
Go on.
When's this going out, actually?
This Monday.
Oh, it's like a pre-exclusive. No one's going to know. Everyone will know it by the time it comes out. But we've got a music video coming out tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, so you're the first person that I've told about
Well,
it.
we'll
And
put a
I'm
link on
really
the,
excited.
we'll put a link on the descriptions that down there with everything, with the
Yeah,
tour dates, with the
yeah.
single, so you can listen to the tunes, listen to watch the video. We'll put it out on RGM as well, of course, standard.
Oh, thank you.
And yeah, we really appreciate your time, mate, and thanks for joining us for a chat.
Thanks for having me.
Cheers, mate.